cool. That was a good idea, Matt. Wow, you're on a real streak, and then you decided not to record. It was a test run. It was. I'm so good at YouTube! One Punch Man, 120. All I Need Is Strength was a good chapter. I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't, like, amazing, but at the same time, like, it's what these chapters are doing at the moment. At this point, I will say I've read 121 because I read them together back to back because I was quite far behind with One Punch Man. I'm still far behind because 122's out and I haven't touched it. So, yeah. So, chapter starts off, let's just get into it. Chapter starts off with Futoshi and Wagoma getting out of there, trying to escape, with Wagoma showing no remorse or regard to the fact that this guy just took attack from a dragon class of threat, and he's just like, come on, get out of here, and then obviously General shows up and saves him, which I will say is great. It's like, it's such a little action like bit, it's nothing like amazing, but it's just enough to kind of like, okay, this is good. Just like Geno's getting all of them out of there. There's no need for them to be anymore, the support team is done with now. That's kind of the main bits of this chapter, and really just setting up for the future, because I think that's what we need to focus on now is, you know, because there isn't much more to set up. I've read 121 at this point, and it's just making sure everyone's got something to do. We know where everyone is at this point in time. There's no one who, like, everyone who should be there is there. Anyone who can fight is there, and it's setting up all these fights really well, and I think that's the main point, and that's why reading back, like looking back, that's probably why they gave us like 118 and where we got Drive Knight versus Niam to satisfy us, and it did a good job of satisfying us because, you know, Drive Knight has been a character who we knew nothing about, and now all of a sudden we've got all this information about him, which is super good, but without actually like giving away everything about him. So that's why I think that chapter in retrospect works so well, is because it keeps us appeased, because it's like talk, or like setups, like, you know, oh, aren't we about to fight? Next fight. Aren't we about it? No, you know, no fight's really been thoroughly seen through, not for a bit at least. So I think it's done well in that sense, like these past, like this chapter, and then I'll kind of talk about 121 more then, but that's basically my thoughts on this point. Like just kind of getting everyone out of there, and I have to say, I'm concerned about Genos, because Genos is Genos, and Genos is Genos. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Those two, I'm guessing they're tiger monsters. I don't know what they'd actually be, but tiger seems about right, because there aren't that many wolf threats really, but they're not demons. I wouldn't count them as demons at least. And they're going after them because he's obviously got all the heroes on his back. It's like, let's sort you guys out. It's almost like if someone said to me, yo, what if we had cannons along all of Genos' arms? I'd be like, that sounds ridiculous. It's not, it's really cool, it's amazing, I love it, but at the same time, like, is it bad I'm concerned how powerful Genos is getting? Like, it's good he's getting so strong, but I imagine there's going to be backlashes to this, but just from the fact, like, he now has 8 cannons along his arms, well actually, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the shoulders. You want to include the entirety. He's got 10 cannons along his arms, and they can heat seek as well. Don't know, that bit was amazing. Like, the new design's super cool, just like and they just blast those two like nothing. And then the 2 shoulder cannons, like he's got precision blast now as well. Like, he's always been like kind of big attacks, so the fact he can do like these little precise blasts, and like as he was running, like boom, and just melted the locks, so he can actually just like barge through super quickly. I think that was super cool stuff, and I love it. But there's got to be some kind of backlash to Genos' new power boost, because if when I say I'm concerned about how fast Genos is growing, because him and Sonic were kind of rivals at one point, and I feel like the gap is so massive now, because especially with the bar set of last time we saw Genos from his previous power-up was he was holding off a cadre on his own, Elder Centipede. Now he's had a massive power boost in attack especially. So I'm hoping they kind of counteract this with maybe like make him super fast and make him super offensive, but he can't take that many hits at this point. And maybe like this attack power is what he'll stay at for a while as he slowly builds his defenses back up. Like he's gone for, if it's like in like an RPG for example, it's like, oh, you've got like 3 points, put them wherever you want to, and he's just gone like, okay, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed, and completely like forgot about defenses, which what has been hinted at, especially with his talks, like apparently the hints of his armor, and then eventually he might just be like, okay, defense, 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 but you get what I'm saying. Any case, the S-Class here, like, Genos got everyone else out of there. Wagoma's a badass. No, wait, no, he's not. No, oh my, how did I get those two mixed up? Second Gar's a badass. He's lost his arm. I'm guessing he's worked on it himself. He did the injection, and straight away he's like, right, Sitch, okay, speak to Genos. when I first saw Senki, I was like, oh, this guy's an asshole. He's gonna be this guy who's gonna try and manipulate everyone, and then I'm like not gonna like him. It's very quickly how my opinion's changed of him like the past couple chapters, and now I'm like, right, he's gonna be the next Sitch. He's gonna try to be this guy who's genuinely trying to help people out, and I hope he is, because I really do, because he's really impressed me with, like, I just think it was like a cool thing to do. Just the fact he treated his own wounds, and he's like, right, you, and he's still trying to do stuff while he's like injured really bad. He's lost an arm, and he's still like, we gotta get this done. I can't mess around. You can't mess around. It's like, it's super good stuff. Obviously, Genos is scanning for enemies, and as we learn as well, Drive Knight apparently can move now, because all of a sudden he couldn't move, and wow, once G5 was dispatched over, hey,
Drive Knight can move again!
And maybe, like, when they say move, maybe it's like a translation thing where he's like, I can move, but I can't fight, so I'm going to take it more like that instead of just being, isn't that a bit of a coincidence that when G5 goes away, Drive Knight can move? We learned that Nian was alive, and Genos was like, I'll take care of him. He's like, no, I got this. I'm going to take him back to my lab and dissect it, which makes sense, because he's like, listen, I can learn from these monsters and grow stronger because of it, you know, we've got to analyse our enemies to make ourselves better, which is Drive Knight's whole thing. And then he goes, you know, we've always studied we've always studied other things to make use of them, it makes sense to keep doing it now, which is good. What's not so good is there's probably a good chance now that Drive Knight, or the organisation, has the corpse of Boros, which would absolutely explain why Boros looks so much like Drive Knight's gold form. Or the other way around. And that's worrisome. That is worrisome. Because I don't think Boros himself is going to make a comeback, but if they're analysing this, then they will know that there is someone out there. Like, I think, because I said this before, I think I'll say it again quickly, because the fact is, if Boros, it makes sense that Boros' corpse survived, you know, like, after everything he went through against Saitama, and, like, obviously, like, how strong Boros was, like, you know, he is still, to this day, the strongest threat that, you know, humanity never faced. And it's just interesting because, like, I'm hoping they'll be like, this guy was clearly strong, and I'm hoping with everything that goes on, if Boros' corpse is still there, this is such a theory, it's like, you know, Saitama, like, you know, not that they're going to be like, oh, Saitama did it, but maybe, like, I have a theory about Drive Knight and Blast. But if they're like, yo, this guy was clearly defeated by something, there's something on Earth more powerful than this being right here, and we can tell he's crazy strong from, like, the data we're getting from him. And then they might be like, well, what if it's Blast? And then, like, yeah, because I think that makes sense instead of them thinking, oh, it's Saitama. And as we see, you know, Nian's last words are like, why did we do this? Like, there's not only a guy who could defeat me, but there's a guy who could defeat Cadres easily with one punch. And this is while Genos on the phone, because, like, Sitch first of all saying, like, thank you very much. He's like, thank you very much, I'll explain what inclusion in the pan. He's like, there's no point in that, there's no time, we can't waste it, we've got to keep going because lives are in trouble. And just, I love the moment he's like, Master Saitama's here! And then he's just like, you didn't need me, I will return to the battle in any case. And they're probably like, well, how heroic. He's like, I just need to see my master. It's just, I love that so much. Any case, as it carries on, we get to see, basically, it just kind of wraps up everything with Agoma as well, and then the true hero of the arc shows up, Futoshi, because he goes, first of all, like when Agoma was like, I need to get out of here, Demon Cyborg, you need to take me back, and even second girl's like, yeah, it would be best if you did, and Futoshi's like, I'll take care of the kid, you get back there. And it's just such a great move, because also the brilliance of him being like, I thought you were slashed. Actually, he just hit the folds of my fat, so I completely dodged it. Love it. It's such a One Punch Man thing, and like I've said before, it's the beauty of One Punch Man where the ridiculous can be amazing, but the serious can be amazing. They've set it up very well like that, so personally I'm very much a sucker for it. So I'm like, that was very good! That's me. And I do like that a lot, and I do like that he took the time to go, listen, you know, we did well, like, I thought we were good, I thought we could help out, there's not a lot I can do this, but against those guys, the only thing that's going to work is overwhelming strength, and you're the only person who could do that. Please, Demon Cyborg, go back and fight. And I love that moment, because it's like, it's once again, you know, the characters who you're like, he's not going to do a lot, it's just a bit of a joke, shows up, and has a good moment or two, and I was really happy about that. I'm very happy that Futoshi got his moment to stand up and go, listen, he recognises weaknesses, and personally I think the way they're going to have to handle these kind of guys is not just overwhelming strength, unless you're Saitama it's overwhelming strength, but for everyone else it's going to have to be teamwork, which is why I think teamwork's super important, but as he's pointed out, in the face of overwhelming strength, it's overwhelming. There's not a lot you can do. And then we get that great one where obviously Second Girl just passes the data to Genos, and we get that brilliant final page of just Genos looking so badass, just amazing, like on top of the car, looking at the data. You've got the moon in the background, and you can see the tiny crater on there where Saitama jumped from it. Such a great little touch. Like, it looked amazing, and I don't know if that was symbolism of like, yo, he's starting to approach the kind of power that he needs. And this isn't me saying like, Genos is now Boros level, but what I mean is like, you know, those kind of things are getting like more within reach. Like similar to how maybe the moon will be used like a symbolism of like measuring points of strength, which we've seen. So for example, when Millennium Emperor Nova got fired, we saw like the massive blast and then like how close it was to the moon, like, and like I think that was a good way to say, hey, that was a pretty damn strong attack. Not like, and it's not like Saitama level, but like it's like, hey, this is borderline like a top dragon kind of attack kind of thing, which it could be a good way to use. Like, I think that could be a creative way for them to do stuff if they like use the moon as comparison, which obviously because it was one of the greatest feats we've seen in the story of Boros kicks Saitama to the moon and Saitama just jumps back, no problem, of course. But like in terms of physical strength, for everything we've seen in the series, that is without a doubt like the biggest feat of physical strength. Like there's been obviously, you know, you got Beefcake or Marugori, who obviously demolished a city pretty much with one swing. That's up there too, but still, kicking someone to the moon's pretty damn powerful. But that's just an idea. I've got no proof of that, but I'd be interested to see if they did something like that in the future, as like, just like, because it's like a nice little background touch you can use to explore this, and it also just makes for a really cool shot with really good detail and amazing art as always. But yeah, short, sweet, I like the chapter. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you liked it, if you disliked it, what you thought. If you liked this review, give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more at certain points. Thank you once again for any patience you have with me. It is appreciated, and I'll see you guys around soon, probably, because I need to do 121 in a minute too. Cool, thank you.